Let's take a deep dive into the bass drop. All right, so I'm gonna solo this. Yeah. So if I play this, right, so the whole thing is setting up a tone generator. And like I said, as soon as you open this guy up, it's gonna light up. Probably like 440 hertz or something like that. I would mute the channel. Yeah, so as soon as you open up this plugin, mute the channel, make an automation lane, and then you can, if you don't know, y'all can do this and make a automation like that instead of doing points. So on this single spot, unbypass it. So if you want to do automation, did we go? I think we went over automation. Yeah, trim and read, and then this guy, you're gonna hit that mute button. This is gonna pop up. You'll be able to do that. And then, so I mean, it'll sound like this. Yeah, start it at 60. Go ahead and put it in at 60. It's probably easier to really just type in and then than it is to move this freaking fader, because I think it's set to like logarithmic or something. Not logarithmic, it's linear. This one's kind of difficult because it's so low down here, you won't be able to move it. If you, so this is the, let's see here. If you go into your effects parameters, tone generator, your bass frequency, where it's going to be centered around. This is what you're going to want to be making an automation lane of. And so you'll bring this line down all the way to 60. If you right click, let's see. If I right click in here, then I go create new point. I have a new point. If I try to move this, it's way too much. So we need to be very, very exact. So you can go set point value, and let's move it up to like, let's go up to 80, and then we'll go back down to 60. So you can't even see like how much that moved, but trust me that that's at 60, that's at 80, that's at 20. I really wish Reaper would make that logarithmic instead of linear. There you go. So that's how you can make the bass drop happen. When I was listening to it really closely, I noticed once it started dipping down 40, it really kind of started to take off a little bit. So I high passed that. Here's what it sounds like without it. I mean, if you have the speakers that kind of go down there and kind of represent, you'll notice that it really lights up. And with this, it makes it a little bit more tapered towards the bottom. Yeah, that sounded much more appropriate to me and what I'm used to hearing on films. Tinnitus. So if we go to the tinnitus, and so same thing, created a tone generator, it's going to light up. And I picked 3K, 3.101K, because it's right in the middle of the presence frequencies and just kind of sounded appropriate for me. Turned it down by 21 dB. You'll notice this dry mix fader up. I don't know why it's there. It doesn't really do anything, but you're wet. That's the really main one that you're going to be focusing on. So I created a mute automation lane. So when the scene happens, it pops open. See if I bypass here, it should just start. There you go. So it starts right there. And then create a volume automation lane. It's going to go from infinity. Excuse me. As soon as it goes to her, then we're going to fade in. There you go. Now, quick side note. What's happening here is like an operation, like something not a surgical operation, but things are triggering so that this bass drop can happen. I'm happy with how this bass drop sound, and I don't want automation to be going along. I don't want Reaper to be like figuring stuff out or calculating. So what you can do is once you have a sound that you really dig, ooh, see, and then weird stuff like that happens. If we come to, or actually, no. So what we would like to do is actually just make this into audio. So a way we can do that is just actually record the output of it. If we come to record output mono, for some reason this latency compensation doesn't really work. It overcompensates. Come here, let's solo this. If we hit record, and if we record, boom. Now we have it in audio. So now what we need to do is we need to bypass the effects because it's all this stuff is getting run in. We will turn that off, turn this off. And now instead of having a channel that is doing all this automation stuff for bass drop, we just have an audio waveform. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that. I know it's popping and clicking, but I didn't notice it when I was doing the thing. So I'll just not worry about it. Put some fades here. There we go. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Same thing with the tinnitus. Ooh, crap. Here we go. Because I've noticed this kind of weird glitch in Reaper. If you're in the middle of this thing, it just triggers it and it's going. And it's kind of annoying. It's really annoying. So let's record output for here. Mono. Record. Shut up, dog. It's not my dog. Neighbor's dog. Yeah. That's in. Disable. Take off the effects. Turn that off. Turn that off. Bam. Now we have audio. And those are the sound effects. Pretty much everything laid out. Moving on to the music. So at this point, I started attacking the project and yeah, I was getting some weird stuff because I was still stuck in frames over here. So I would say go to quarter notes. Then your grid will also do the same. So now you can see it a little bit easier. And so at this point, I kind of just went, ooh, our synthesizer makes an appearance. I thought I'd have to be using it a little bit more, but this is literally just the synthesizer doing, I think, some high notes. That's it, some kind of scary stuff. Yeah, with everything in. Yeah, that's rad. That is so rad. In the very end, it makes an appearance. I think I'm playing octaves or maybe like a ninth or something like that below there. Yeah. So when dragging and dropping in these loops, keep in mind that in your Media Explorer, you're going to want to have this tempo matching on so that whatever the tempo data for that loop is, it'll retain it. Or not retain it, it'll shift it to 146.938 kind of thing. So let's see. Yeah, adjusted the rate on its own, and I brought it down by 6 dB. Did some EQ. Yeah, just some kind of high stuff. There's more to the sample, but we're building up. I just kind of want something small with some hi-hats in there. Yeah. Kind of like a semi-telephone effect in there. Next sample. Oh yeah, this was, as soon as I saw this, found this sample, I was like, I know exactly where that's gonna go. Yeah, make my job so much easier. I wanted more impact out of it, so what am I doing? Attack time, 27.9, that is pretty slow, and 156. So yeah, I'm definitely focusing on getting more transient out of it and making that pop a little bit more. Out of 4-to-1 ratio, it's a little bit aggressive. Yeah. And the event horizon, what am I doing with that guy? I'm literally just turning it up 3 dB. Yeah, looks like it hits the ceiling too, so nice. That is what I want. What is this? What is this? What's happening here? Did I miss a sample? Did I delete a sample? Don't know what that was about. There is nothing there. Okay, cool. I'm gonna move on. Whatever the hell that was about. What about this? Okay, here we go. What is this? Uplifter people. I'm not sure if that's something I reversed. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look through the loops folder, EDA, FX, uplifter, people. It's in there. Yeah, totally. And then drag and drop it and it should pop in. But that's adding to that kind of build up where the traffic is going to be coming in. Yeah, this one right here was fun. Cool. So classic EDM trick. Let's bypass all this. I know I needed something just to kind of pick it up and also to create some more tension. So what did I do? Event horizon, I just limit. Oh yeah. So now I'm using the event horizon as kind of like a saturation thing, where I told you all that the really great limiter will give you some pretty cool saturation when you really start to drive into it, and you can use that as a creative tool. So to make this even more gnarly, I just slammed the threshold all the way down and got the ceiling to where it kind of balanced out volume-wise. Yeah, so without it, and with it, just clipping the crap out of it. That's the whole limiter clipper kind of concept. Hella gnarly. So if you listen to any kind of Daft Punk, this happens all the time. So basically taking a filter, let me show you how to do this. So FX, I'm gonna create a re-EQ. Cool, this is good. So now what needs to happen is this needs to be a low pass filter. We bring this all the way down. It's like an 80 or something. Cool. We'll put a little bit of a guy on that thing. Oops, my bad. Okay, so easiest way to do this is if you touch this parameter and you move it exactly where you want to. And you, okay, so the last parameter that you touch on Reaper gets loaded up into, sorry, parameters. Loads up into show track envelope. So instead of going through and clicking on, oh, trim, go to this thing, you can easily touch a parameter and then go to show track envelope. And now that pops up right here. So now this is that track envelope. So the way that I showed y'all, you can do, oops, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, so hold control, place a dot, hold control, place a dot. And we want this guy to open up like all the way. give us all the frequencies. So now what happens is we got, this is the automation lane that's going to trigger. Boom, there you go. You are now EDM masters. It's almost feeding time for that dog. And a bit of reverb. Yeah, you hear that kind of trail off. You hear how like gnarly that reverb is? I mean, it's old school cheap reverbs, not cheap reverbs, but there's a certain style of reverb that has that weird kind of cheap algorithm that can be pretty useful. There's like gnarly sounding reverbs like that, and there's like the really pretty nice convoluted reverbs that are hella on your PC or Mac, whatever. Yeah, this section was pretty easy because I know it just needs to party the whole time, and so I layered a couple of layers. Layered a couple samples on top of that. Let's see, and I knew that this was just really. I needed a snare and some like hi-hat stuff. I knew I didn't need that kick, so I just EQ'd it out. Ooh. And if I come for this one, this next one I added just more hi-hat stuff. Yeah, awesomeness. This guy added more mid-range gnarliness. Yeah, and at that point, it's like, okay, cool. I think that's cluttered enough. Let's make it party. Oh, what am I doing on this guy? Oh, yeah. That was the EQ for that previous sample that probably had some kick in it. Yeah, I don't need that kick. With low end, you kind of have to pick and choose, like, who's going to be the really dominating force for that. Let's go. Everybody's favorite sample. So if you hadn't noticed, Let's Go is actually the great Dr. Bissell's voice. There's a whole bunch of different let's goes that he has. Let's see, this one, I pitched it down a semitone. Oh yeah, so I'm making like a minor second and then shifting it down, brought down the original a little bit. Yeah, so on its own, let's go. It's him kind of whispering it. Let's go. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more kind of scary voice. Let's go. There you go. Now we have, why is that? Oh, yeah. Now just getting kind of picky. Going back to the magazine scene, I felt like there was something more that needed to be there, another element aside from the paper sound effects and the loop. So if you look, this is a let go that I've just stretched to crap. And let's see what it sounded like on its own. When I'm like learning about a new technology or something like that, or a new tool, you usually want to find a way to make it work at the best that it can. And then once you really kind of make something work, like pitch shifting or time stretching, then find out like what happens when you break it and see if you can use that as a creative thing. So yeah, stretching this out to Kingdom Come gets a really cool sound. Brought down the top. Yeah, and the go kind of bleeds into that transition. And then what did I do for pitching? Just the format. That's it. That's one thing of like electronic music that I found fascinating, is like they'll have something from a completely different source and just completely transmorph into something else completely. This was a fun one. So as the car is hauling ass, come on, let's go. Yeah, Bissell is on it.
Come on, let's go.
So I wanted to make it like a racetracky kind of announcer vibe.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, so there's a slap delay that's just, you know, one repeat, really short. There is some stereo panning going along. Yeah, 236 and 322. So that brings it out to the side so y'all can hear that. Let's see. I'm also doing some reverb.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, and then Event Horizoned it.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, and you can hear that I'm actually saturating into this one. So that's part of that sound. And that looks to be it. Congratulations, everybody. You've made it through another breakdown. Right on. And for the music, yeah, Event Horizon, just to cap it off. I didn't mix with any of these bus processing on, so I was just kind of clipping the whole time, but I knew I was going to chop it off at the end. So Event Horizon over there, and then for my master, Event Horizon, and just left it like that just to contain everything. So, once more with feeling. Yeah, that was even. See, even now, I feel like, hey, footsteps are here. You know what? Just to leave my fader there. Footsteps. Chill out. Just come back just a little bit. Thank you very much. Hope you all enjoyed that.